What's going on, all you gamers? Today we're going to be jumping into a little bit of Midnight Suns, and I'm going to be going over a build for Magik that I think truly shines in this game. So if you want to know what the best build is for Magik and why she's so good in the team, then stay tuned. Let's go on next. Welcome back everybody. Today we're going to be looking at a bit more Marvel Midnight Suns, and we're going to be going over a build for Magik that can really take advantage of the terrain and help your team out. Now as always, if you enjoy this content and if you'd like to see more from me, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon. But for now I'll be jumping over to a little bit of gameplay showing you what Magik's all about. So with Magik, as you probably know if you're playing Midnight Suns, she's all about taking advantage of her portals all day long, knocking people through them, hitting environmental objects, and just being able to take very good advantage of everything that's around you in the map. What you're going to want to do whenever you can, you're going to place these portals down. Knocking the enemy through them is going to be amazing because you'll be able to aim at either other enemies or at some of your objectives. Taking advantage of explosives or anything that's going to do high damage, or even throwing them off of buildings, is also another option. You'll also be able to group them up with her gather ability, which can do some pretty good damage, but even better than that is going to place every enemy together, ready for another attack from one of your teammates that can do some massive AoE damage. On top of that though, because of how her abilities work, she's also able to do some really nice single target damage, and her ultimate is one of the best in the game, making her both invincible and able to do counter attack. Looks cool, is cool, and absolutely does the business. All in all, Magik is an amazing character to use in pretty much any team. Right, so hopefully from that footage you can see that Magik is a lot of fun to play. She's an absolutely devastating character, and to me she kind of does everything that I really wanted Spider-Man to do. In my opinion, she's one of the best characters in the game and can slot into most teams. Jumping straight into her deck, and I've tried to keep it quite simple so it doesn't really cost too much to use her, but because of this I have made it so she doesn't generate too much heroism. So having someone on your team that can generate a lot of heroism, as well as having someone that does some nice AoE or some damage in general, definitely works best. So I found some ideal partners could be that of Hulk, Hunter, and probably Doctor Strange. So jumping over to her first cards, and we've got Kick. Kick seems like an absolutely awful choice because it hasn't got too much to it, but what it does do, it does a nice amount of damage, it does some knockback, and we've managed to change it to Quick. Putting two of these in our deck means that you do a fair amount of damage. If it comes out with that crit, it's going to be one of her highest damage cards, mainly because of how her playstyle is, and because you'll be able to kick them through portals. Two of these works ideal, they're both quick, meaning if you do get the KO, you're not going to be costing any card plays. Jumping over to our next one, and we've got Quick Soul Slash. This one is very similar to what we were just doing. We're going to make another quick card with her. She's now able to take out a lot of the smaller health targets. This one has knockback, it has quick, gives one move this turn, and what I've changed it to with the modifier is on KO gain concealed. What you're going to want to do, if possible, use this card whenever you need to get her out of the battle, and that way you're going to make sure that your other teammates are the focus of attention and that she's not going to take too much damage. If however you want to play a little bit more offensively, then you could always change this so that on KO it's going to draw two cards. That also works absolutely amazing. Jumping over to probably her best cards in my opinion, and that's going to be Limbo's Grasp. I had not played with Magik much whatsoever. When I first kind of looked over her cards, she seemed a little bit bland. I thought she wasn't going to be the best. I was completely wrong. She is an amazing character to use. And Limbo's Grasp is one of the best cards in the game. You're going to create a portal. For the rest of the mission, this is going to deal 175 damage to every enemy that's knocked through that portal. Now remember, you can only have one portal up at a time. It's going to disappear once you knock the enemy through, but that extra damage on top of, like I said, if you're using her kick, and that's got a bit of damage about it as well, into an environmental object or into an explosive barrel or anything along those lines, is going to do a nice bit of damage. We've modified this to 3, so it's absolutely amazing, but even better than that, and something that I didn't realise at the start, these actually stack up. so having 2 in your deck works absolutely amazing. Every single time you're using these, it's going to give an additional amount depending on how much damage it's giving you because of your offense and stuff. After 2 or 3 of these, that can rack up massively, meaning you can very easily take out single targets even at those higher difficulties. Whenever you see this Limbo's Grasp, chuck it onto the field because it will definitely benefit you as long as you can knock an enemy through it. Now 100% needed, you're going to have a Limbo Portal on as well. This is another free portal. On redraw it's going to give you 1 move, don't worry too much about that, and I've changed it to draw the last attack played. I found that this really helped me out because whenever it popped up I would chuck it down and then I was able to use her attacks in order to kick them straight through it. Worked amazing for damage or if I wanted to go into that conceal. However, if your team is struggling for heroism, then you can quite easily change this to +2 heroism, making it easier for you to play your heroic cards. Now next up, and we've got Gather. This is just an all around amazing move to use and it really sets your team up. You've got a large AoE, but instead of it doing massive damage, because this does a nice bit of damage but nothing exceptional, but the main reason you'll be doing this is to group enemies together in a kind of central effect. Perfect if you can follow it up with either Annihilation from your main character or a Seismic Slam from Hulk, or anything that does some big damage, as then you're going to be able to take everything out in a big old AoE. For this reason I've modelled it to apply 1 vulnerable. Or if you're struggling for your card plays, then change it to 1 marked. Last but definitely not least, and we have Darkchild. Darkchild is just absolutely amazing, devastate your enemy, you can't be hurt for a turn, it's just a great card overall. Definitely one of the best ultimates in the game. You're going to gain 1 invulnerable, gain 1 counter, as well as taunt every enemy. And I've changed it to draw a card, but I did completely run out of money. I think this one can actually change to draw 2 cards, which would be absolutely ideal. Do whatever you want for a turn, because like it says, you're invulnerable and you just don't have to worry about too much. This also works perfect if you want to use it with something like Evil Eye Totem, which is going to place every single character you've taunted with 2 marked, allowing you to easily pick up those card plays and not worry too much. Play this when you've got a lot of card plays yourself if you can, because for the whole round you will be pretty much invincible. Jumping over to a passive, and she uses Relay. 25% chance to generate a Limbo Portal card after an enemy is knocked through a portal. You will be doing this constantly, you will see these constantly. Make sure you're trying to chuck everything through portals when you can. Aim them at those environmental objects, aim them at whatever you want, aim them at each other in order to get the KOs, and just have a lot of fun while you're doing it. And like I said, make sure you're using those Limbo Grasps and those kicks, and there's no doubt in my mind that you absolutely decimate your enemies. My Magik is far from the best, as I haven't actually used her anywhere near as much as the others, but I do really like her playstyle, and I think if you do start boosting her up, she's going to be ridiculously overpowered late game. Right, you gamers, hopefully that's helped a few of you out. As always, for all things gaming, I'll see you on the next day.